Uh, there's two more topics, then we open for discussion. Okay, the next topic is by Dr. Anand, competence assessment.
Now, those of you who are working in laboratories which have got accreditation, the standard is, requirements for competence and competence and quality. So competence assessment has to be done. It's not only competence of the people who are actually working, that is not only the technicians. Even a supervisory staff also we have to do a competence assessment. Only thing is the way we do will be slightly different. I think in the morning session, Dr. Jatin Bhatia showed you the slides about how the standard is given, how does one go about doing this competence assessment. So we'll debate that slightly later. But competence assessment is mandatory. It's a requirement for accreditation, and also it is a requirement for appraisals, for promotions and other things that is required. Probably later on we'll debate about that.
Again, one more, it's not a story. It is actually what happened. I went to a laboratory for an assessment. I will not name the laboratory nor the city because the director is sitting next to me. Confidentiality we have declared. Of course, it was not in this country. Even then, confidentiality is confidentiality. When I went to the laboratory in the morning, I went to the clinical pathology section. And there were some technologists. There were two girls there. Looking at them, I could make out from which country they are. Immediately, I could make out because I had worked in that country. It was Republic of Philippines. They were Filipinos. When I went there, they said, "Good morning, sir." They always call sir, sir for everybody. I said, "Good morning, madam. What is your name?" She said, "June, July, or August, something." Then keep the names of the months. I said, "What do you do here?" "I do clinical pathology, urine testing, and etc." I said, "I'm an assessor. Can you demonstrate with the retained sample how you do the testing and as per the protocol?" She said, "Yes, sir. You have to wait." She went and went to the supervisor, took the permission to do the testing in writing, that somebody has come saying he is an assessor, asking me to repeat some test. Can I do that? And she took the permission. And she came and told me, "Sir, I got the permission from my superior. Why I'm telling you, remember each step." Then she came to me, says, "Sir, would you like to witness the test?" I said, "Yes." Then she said, "You have to wear this apron, wear this goggle, wear this gloves, wear this head cap." I said, "You are going to do the testing. I'm not going to do the testing." No, as our protocol, you have to wear all this. I had to wear all that. And I, like a big man, I wore that lab coat, but I did not put on the buttons. That girl removed her gloves. She helped me to put on the buttons, and then she took the gloves. Meticulously, she was following safety precautions. Then she said, "Sir, you wait. I will go bring the urine." I can come. I want to see where. "No, sir, sorry." She went and blinded that with some sticker, nicely blinded, and brought that. "Sir, you are not supposed to see the number or patient's name." Confidentiality she wanted to maintain. She said, "This urine was already tested. I will repeat it. This will be retest, for which I had to generate a number." She generated the number as if some mock fees was paid. Then she took it in 2 centrifuge tubes and weighed both of them on a balance and said, I said, "Why are you weighing? I don't want to weight. The volume of urine is enough for testing." "No, sir, we have to balance, otherwise centrifuge bearings will go, bushes will go." And then she came with that, and meticulously she followed step by step. And then she transferred the supernatant, and she retained the original sediment and for microscopic exam. And she brought that strip, from that. She showed me that box. There was no confidentiality there. That which company, what date. She said date of expiry, batch number. She entered that in the register. Batch number, date of expiry. And balance, there are 36 strips. I'm taking out 1. Therefore, -1, 35. Everything meticulously she is doing. And she took one filter paper, kept it on the table. And she took me to the urine strip reader. She said, "Sorry, sir, there's some fluid inside. Somebody who had used it earlier has probably not cleaned it properly." She brought that Johnson earbud and to clean that inside portion. Then she dipped that strip. Then she waited for some time, pressed between filter paper and inserted that. She got the reading, got a printout. She said, "It's a thermal printer, it will go." And she transferred it to a register. And then she asked me to compare from the strip what was printed out and on the register. I said, it's fine. She asked me to sign also on that as an evidence. And she said, this is how we do, sir. This report, we will take it. Okay, what are your working hours? She said, from 7 to 12:30. Again, in the afternoon, I went. Another girl, not this girl, but she was more familiar to look at because she is from my own country, from one part of South India. I could make out. I said, are you from such and such a state? She said, how do you know, sir? I said, I can make out. What's your name? She said some name. I could make out. I could pinpoint from which state she was. You also know now. Then I started talking to her in her local language. She was much more friendly. I said, what do you do? She said, urine. I said, no, everybody does urine. What do you do with the urine? Testing. Very good. Can you demonstrate? Yes, sir. Wait. She never bothered. She went, brought the urine, did not report to the supervisor, brought that strip, inserted in that, did like that. I had no lab coat, no glasses, and some drops of urine came on my, and then she went and directly inserted that in that urine strip reader. Probably next day, the June, July, or August will come and clean, you know. Now, there are 6 problems here. 1, problem-solving skills. If you have to give 10 out of 10, how much you will give it to the morning girl? 10, right? For that afternoon girl, you may give 0 because she created problem. The afternoon girl, morning girl solved that problem. What about recording? You will definitely give more marks to the morning girl, less marks to the evening girl. And with regard to safety precautions, she not only, to me also, visitors also, you know, as per standard ISO 1518 is, all visitors also should be provided with safety aspects. If you look at 6 requirements as per ISO 15189, 5.1.3 point some number, I don't remember, all 6 competence evaluation, if you could apply to in this scenario. Therefore, competence evaluations become very important thing, as Anand said, which was not there earlier. It's directly, a lot of stress is there on that. And it's a very, very important thing for laboratories which are accredited, continuing accreditation, going in for accreditation. I do not know how many of you are really from accredited labs. Can you raise your hands? How many of you are from accredited testing labs? Not many. How many are planning to go for accreditation? Are you sure by next year your application will go? Because witness is here. If you don't send, next conclave, you will not be permitted. And also not that, rest of them, what are you going to do? You never raise hand, either you must be taking rest. See, the purpose of this conclave is to sensitize, make people to go in for quality, though it says it is a conclave of beyond accreditation, quality beyond accreditation. Therefore, we should go beyond competence, beyond documentation, beyond, there are electronic document control management system, ECDMS has come. Today we are going into paperless laboratories, waterless laboratories with dry chemistry. With your lab has a lot of dry chemistry, isn't it? And today we are saving resources. You heard about energy resources. Therefore, this is an excellent platform for all of us to exchange.
Good afternoon, sir. Actually, you gave the example of a morning girl and the evening girl. My expectation from your side, because very head of the organizations are here, to quantify the quality of the laboratory services, can that be expected in a standardization of the quality indicators? Can that be set at each level, as you said, pre-examination, examination, and post-examination levels, to quantify the quality of the laboratory services? To quantify the quality of the services, can there be any standards in means of quality indicators?
We will now go to the next presentation. Next topic, benefits of accreditation. You have a presentation?
So since we are discussing benefits of accreditation, I'd like to take the feedback from the audience, what they perceive as benefits of being accredited. And then we will quickly run through.
Especially those laboratories which are accredited.
Yeah, both. Ma'am, can you just give me one benefit which you perceive after your laboratory has been accredited?
I think it is the trust which...
So she says the greatest benefit is that you gain the trust of the user of the laboratory. Anybody on this table? Yeah.
It's in terms of attaining quality and continual improvement.
So quality and continual improvement is one, just one per table I will take. One benefit, Dr. Ashok?
I think after accreditation, it becomes more organized and more systematic. Not that the lab is not organized or systematic, but as per the standard, it becomes more organized and more systematic. That's what I felt.
So the benefit felt by KMC Mangalore was establishment of a system, quality management system. Yes, madam.
The staff gets more motivated in performing better.
So motivation of the staff of the laboratory, people who are planning to go for accreditation, why do you want to go for accreditation? Any one of you?
To improve our qualities and to get a systematic procedures to follow, and to encourage and standardize our technician, motivation of the technicians. And
proper test result.
To have a proper test result, to improve quality, to bring in systematic mechanisms into the laboratory. Yes, sir.
One is reportable time. Reportable time will be improved. Second thing is the insurance, the compensation that we are going to pay.
So, I mean, what is that insurance compensation you're talking about?
The compensation that the patients claim for this evidence-based medicine, the reports and other things, when they claim in the court of law that the reports are not correct.
So according to gentleman here, he says the accreditation grants immunity or benefit when it comes to a legal tangle. So that is one point which has come up. Anyone here?
Quality of the results and trust of the patient in the lab.
One interesting terminology came here, market value. So market value, improvement of business, management point of view, improvement of business.
Become more competitive, gain public recognition and grow revenue.
So improvement in revenue. So we have a number of inputs here. So one is the protection from legal action, the other was the morale of the staff, the other is trust, quality system, so on and so forth. So quickly we'll go through what the publications, in fact there are some publications which highlight benefits of accreditation. This is the ILAC Global Trust, there's a publication. If you go through, put benefits of accreditation, you get a few of these. I've just tried to pick up few highlights from these. So what or how the accreditation benefits the government bodies and regulators is what is highlighted in this paper. Protecting the health and welfare of consumers, protecting the environment, developing new regulations and requirement, measuring compliance and compliance with regulatory and legal requirement, allocating resources and so on. So this was one thing which was highlighted. And using an accredited laboratory benefits the government and the regulators by increasing confidence in data to establish baselines for key analysis. Now, suppose ICMR sets out on a project to establish reference ranges across the country. The first person it will look for is an accredited laboratory, right? Reducing uncertainties associated with decisions that affect the protection of human health and environment. Increasing the public confidence. I think many of you mentioned that point, because accreditation is a recognizable mark of approval. Eliminating redundant reviews and improving efficiency of assessment process. And using an accredited laboratory also increases confidence that decisions regarding multiple facilities are based on comparable data. So if you want to establish a registry, if you want to make a data bank across the country, then the data should be comparable. So that can be achieved when you eliminate a number of variables which could be there in a non-accredited labs. Many of these variables would be eliminated in an accredited lab. Purchases received from suppliers are safe and reliable because accredited labs are expected to set a quality which they expect from their suppliers. Costs associated with laboratory problems, retesting, resampling, cost of wastage, cost of rechecking. they are minimized. False positives, false negatives, which can directly affect compliance with regulations are minimized. So this was the opinion which I could generate, or I could get from the ILAC Global Trust publication. Then we have Clinical Pathology Association of UCAS company, medical lab accreditation document. It says accreditation is a mark of quality and is objective proof that a laboratory is not only competent but safe, patient focused, efficient and reliable. So it summarizes a number of benefits of accreditation. Our own publication from New Delhi, WHO through New Delhi, guidelines for establishment of accreditation of health laboratories. It makes a statement that benefits of quality system or accreditation facilitates implementation and maintenance of an effective quality system, gives confidence to the users in availing the services, gives confidence to the laboratory for results generated. As somebody mentioned, the staff are confident of their results, provides national, international recognition of technical competence, helps in defending laboratories while dealing with legal disputes pertaining to laboratory results. This point, I think one should not misinterpret by saying that by being an accredited lab, one is immune to litigations. What it will help us prove is that we have a quality management system and everything goes as per the system. So the error which has happened in the laboratory is not due to negligence. So whether it is negligence or not negligence will help in either increasing or decreasing the penalty. But do not go under the assumption that being accredited, you will not have to pay any penalty. If there is an error and it is proved to be due to negligence, your penalty will be high. If it is proved that it is not due to negligence, error, the penalty will be less. So that is as far as the legal advantage is concerned. It reduces the operating costs and so on, helps private sector laboratories to attract more business. Business was one of the points which one of the madams mentioned, helps national and international acceptance of results. So global, that's the MRA partners. So global recognition of reports which are generated from accredited laboratory, meets purchase or regulatory specifications, increase competitiveness. She mentioned about competition and market share. So these are the points. I think even in our presentations which we make in our training sessions, most of these points get incorporated. So this is a summary, and I think what feedback you gave, most of you perceive almost some of these points which have already been published in these literatures. So thank you, sir.
Okay.